So we have with us Ambassador Anil Trigunayat. He also served as Director General, Joint Secretary for the Gulf and Hajj Divisions in the Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi. And he's joining us live from Riyadh. Thank you so much for joining us on WION, Ambassador.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right, Ambassador, the Saudi Crown Prince has especially stayed back in India after attending the successful G20 summit. How do you assess Saudi Arabia and India ties going forward?
Well, I think that Saudi Arabia, in the last few years, our relationship has gone from transactional to truly strategic. It has expanded in every fora, in every area which is possible, because Crown Prince has a Vision 2030, which is modernizing Saudi Arabia completely, from economy to social dimensions to day-to-day living, really. And that is quite visible while you are visiting Saudi Arabia. There is a greater reliance now on the non-fossil fuels. There is an effort to become the largest hydrogen hub in the area. And one of the biggest things is that apart from economy, energy, and expatriates that form the bedrock of our relationships with these countries, it has become into the defense, into security and cyber and new areas of cooperation, including artificial intelligence, space, and others. And so I think that the relationship has expanded, deepened, and this is the second visit of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who became the Prime Minister about a year ago. Our Prime Minister has also visited there twice. And I remember I was part of the delegation which came here in 2010, since when we signed the Riyadh Declaration. And ever since, the relationship has really moved forward. Especially, I would say, there is a great realization in this has become, I would say, a relationship where Pakistan used to be a factor, which is no longer a factor. So that is something very important to understand as far as this relationship is concerned. Also, in the case of, expatriating the economic and the other offenders, we have never had it so good. They are very quick. They are looking after Indian population, which happens to be here 2.5 million people, and they are pretty happy. So things are really looking good. And the most important thing that we have seen in just during this G20 visit, not only that India and Saudi Arabia cooperated, but the most important thing was this, as you mentioned, the declaration of the new corridor, which we call it IMEC corridor. Now, that will be something which is a game changer and which is a very bold and transformative project for an alternate supply line.
Right, Ambassador, just coming to that, the significance of the launch of the economic corridor that links India, the Middle East and Europe. But let's also talk about how Saudi Arabia in today's time is betting big on India's potential. Shed some light on that.
Well, as you know that during his visit in 2019, MBS had actually committed to investing about $100 billion in Indian infrastructure. They have become part of our strategic reserves. They realize that India is the fastest growing, largest economy, and it is the fifth and is going to be the third largest economy. They themselves want to become the top 10 in a few years' time. And so therefore, there are a lot of synergies. India is the biggest market. Saudi Arabia in recent times had also adopted a policy which is called its Act East policy, in which its major markets like China, India, Japan, South Korea are the major focus for them. And so our Act West policy and their Act East policy link rather well, in my view, because there are a lot of synergies and a lot of issues that can be taken up jointly for the betterment of the region. And as you know, the West Asia is one of the most important, or I would say the critically most important region for us. Because of our dependence on energy security, we have possibility of working in the food security dimension. And now, since May this year, we had some kind of informal organization called the IUSU, right. India, USA, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. And that, in my view, has many projects under its belt, apart from the one that has already been announced. And there it will take us much ahead. And Saudi Arabia knows that there are returns to be made. And that is why even during the pandemic, whether it is Reliance or the refinery or projects in various other companies in India, investments in India. They have gone on actually. So that is something very good. And during this visit, the Prime Minister and Crown Prince will be going through this, co-chairing this Strategic Partnership Council. Because you can imagine that when you set up a council or an organization like that, which has 2 components and the 8 working groups, and then you are at the highest level, really monitoring the progress of the various projects that have been committed.
Right, Ambassador. There's some technical glitch out there, but thank you so much, Ambassador, for joining us on WION and sharing your insights with us.